Welcome back to another episode of Podquiver, the place where we sharpen your mind and your English skills at the same time. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Alex. Today, we are dissecting a brutal truth about success. We are looking at a concept from the entrepreneur Alex Hormozi. It's about why smart, hardworking people often fail.
Fail? That sounds encouraging. But seriously, I watched the source material for this, and Hormozi uses a very famous metaphor from the movie The Matrix. He talks about the woman in the red dress.
Exactly. For our listeners who haven't seen The Matrix, let's explain that metaphor. In the movie, the main character is walking through a crowd of boring, gray people. Suddenly, a stunning woman in a red dress walks by.
And naturally, he looks at her. He turns his head. But the moment he looks back, that woman turns into an agent holding a gun to his head.
Right. The lesson here is, distractions don't look like monsters. They don't look scary. Distractions look like opportunities. They look beautiful. They look like the woman in the red dress.
That is deep. So, in business or life, the things that kill our success are actually things that look good?
Precisely. Hormozi argues that most people think focus means saying no to bad things, like watching TV all day or eating junk food. But that's easy. Real focus is saying no to good things.
Wait, let's pause there. That's a bit counterintuitive. Counterintuitive means it goes against what your gut tells you. Why would I say no to a good opportunity?
Because you only have 100% of your energy. If you split it between 5 good businesses, you have 5 mediocre businesses. But if you put 100% into one boring thing, you become a master.
Ah, I see. So mediocre means just average. Not terrible, but not great. Hormozi is saying we are attracted to the new, shiny object because the work we are currently doing is boring.
Yes. He calls it the desire for novelty. We want something new. But success is usually found in doing the same boring thing over and over again for a long time.
It reminds me of learning English, actually. Everyone wants to learn a secret trick to get fluent in 1 week. That's the woman in the red dress.
That is a perfect comparison. The secret trick is the distraction. The reality is listening to podcasts like this, studying vocab, and practicing every day. That is the boring work.
So, before we move on to the next section, let's quickly recap 4 keywords we just used. First, metaphor, comparing 2 things to explain an idea. Second, counterintuitive, something that feels wrong but is actually right.
Third was mediocre, just average quality. And fourth, novelty, the quality of being new and interesting.
Okay, so we know we need to ignore the lady in the red dress. But Hormozi talks about something even harder. He talks about a specific time in your life called the season of no.
And that season can be very lonely. We're going to talk about the social cost of success right after this. Stay tuned. Welcome back to part 2. In the previous section, we talked about the woman in the red dress. The idea that distractions are actually beautiful opportunities that destroy your focus.
Right. And now we are entering the core concept of Hormozi's philosophy, the season of no. Alex, honestly, when I hear season of no, it sounds miserable. It sounds like I can't have any fun. Is that what it means?
It's interesting you use the word miserable. Hormozi admits that this season is difficult, but he defines the season of no as a specific period in your life where you aggressively eliminate everything that does not contribute to your one main goal.
Aggressively eliminate. That is strong language. Can you give us a practical example? Because everything is a big word. Does that mean I stop seeing my family? I stop going to the gym?
Well, not necessarily health, because health fuels work. But let's look at social obligations. Weddings, birthdays, Friday night drinks. Hormozi says, if you want to be in the top 1%, you cannot live like the 99%. The 99% go to every party. They say yes to every coffee meeting.
Ah, the classic FOMO, fear of missing out. So you're saying successful people basically miss out on purpose?
Exactly. Hormozy mentioned in the video, I have missed more weddings than I have attended. Think about that. Most people would say that is rude or selfish. But he argues that you cannot build an empire if you are always available for everyone else.
That hits hard. Being available is usually seen as a good trait. Like, oh, Sarah is so nice, she always helps. But in this context, being available means you have no boundaries.
Correct. Let's pause on that word. Boundaries. It's the invisible line you draw to protect your time. The problem is, as you get a little bit successful, people start asking for your time more.
Oh, I see where this is going. It's the paradox of success. When you are a nobody, no one bothers you. You have all day to focus. But once you make a little money, suddenly everyone wants to pick your brain.
Yes. Can I pick your brain? Can we grab coffee? Hormozy says these are the silent killers. He calls them opportunities, but they're actually obligations disguised as compliments.
Obligations disguised as compliments. I love that phrase. It feels good to be asked, right? It strokes our ego, but it steals our time.
And time is the only asset you can't buy back. Hormozy uses a financial term here, dilution. Do you know what that means in this context?
I think so. Like when you put too much water in your juice, it tastes weak.
Perfect analogy. If you have focus juice and you pour it into 10 different cups, one for your project, one for your friend's startup, one for learning guitar, one for social media, the juice becomes water. It has no flavor. It has no power.
So, the season of no is basically refusing to dilute your juice. You keep it all in one cup. But Alex, how long does this season last? Is it forever? Because that sounds lonely.
That is the key question. Hormozy says it is a season. Seasons change. It's not the life of no. It is a period of intense building, maybe 2 years, maybe 5 years, until you reach escape velocity.
Escape velocity. That's a physics term, right? The speed needed to break free from gravity.
Yes. In business or learning English, gravity is strongest at the beginning. It takes massive energy to start. Once you are in space, successful, you can float. You can say yes to parties again. But most people start partying before they leave the atmosphere.
And they crash back down to Earth. Wow, that visualization really helps. So, if I'm trying to build this YouTube channel, for example, I shouldn't be trying to start a TikTok and a blog and a newsletter all at the same time?
Exactly. That is the woman in the red dress again. The TikTok idea looks sexy, but the YouTube channel is your wife. You need to stay married to your main goal until it works.
Stay married to your goal. I like that. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here. We talked about aggressively eliminating distractions, setting boundaries, avoiding the dilution of our focus, and aiming for escape velocity.
But Sarah, there is a dark side to this. When you actually start saying no to people, they don't always react well. You will lose friends. You will be called arrogant.
That sounds scary, but we need to talk about it. In the next part, we'll discuss the social cost of success and how to handle the hate. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to part 3. We've talked about saying no to opportunities. We talked about the season of no. But Alex, I have a feeling that saying no to your friends is harder than saying no to a business deal.
You are absolutely right. This is the part nobody likes to talk about, the social cost. When you start prioritizing your goals over your social life, you create friction.
Friction. Like when two things rub against each other and create heat?
Yes. In relationships, friction means conflict. Hormozy points out that when you stop going to the bar every Friday, or you miss the annual trip because you are working, your friends won't just say, "Good luck."
What will they say instead?
They will say, "You've changed. You think you're better than us? You're too busy for your old friends now?" They will try to make you feel guilty.
Ugh, guilt tripping. That's manipulative. But why do they do that? Do they want us to fail? I thought friends were supposed to support each other.
This brings us to a very famous concept called crab mentality, or crabs in a bucket. Have you heard of this?
I have heard of it, but explain it for our listeners who might not know the idiom.
So, if you put a bunch of crabs in a bucket, and one tries to crawl out to escape, the other crabs will grab his legs and pull him back down. They don't want him to be free while they are stuck.
That is terrifying. So, in real life, when I try to improve myself, let's say I'm learning English intensely, my friends who aren't learning might make fun of me?
Exactly. Why are you trying so hard? Your accent sounds weird. They do this not because they hate you, but because your growth highlights their lack of growth. It triggers their insecurity.
Insecurity. That's a powerful word. So, my success makes them feel bad about themselves?
Yes. Hormozy says, your new life will cost you your old one. It's a transaction. You cannot keep the same lifestyle and expect a different result. If you hang out with 5 people who waste time, you will be the 6th person who wastes time.
That's the Jim Rohn quote, right? You are the average of the 5 people you spend time with. But Alex, this leads to a very scary place. If I leave my old friends, and I haven't met new successful friends yet,
Then you are alone. And this is the hardest part of the season of no. Solitude.
is there a difference between solitude and loneliness? They sound the same.
Huge difference. Loneliness is the pain of being alone. It feels like something is missing. Solitude is the glory of being alone. It's when you are productive, peaceful, and building your future.
That is a beautiful distinction. So, successful people learn to enjoy solitude?
They have to. Because the path to the top 1% is narrow. There aren't many people there. If you need constant validation and company, you will never do the hard work required.
Validation. Seeking approval. Wow. So, to wrap up this section, we have to be prepared to be the bad guy in our friends' stories?
Yes. You have to be okay with being misunderstood. Hormozy says, if you want to be successful, you must be willing to look foolish to the masses.
Okay, let's take a breath. That was heavy. Let's recap the vocab. First, friction. Conflict in relationships. Second, guilt tripping. Making someone feel bad to control them.
Third, insecurity. Lack of confidence that makes people jealous. And fourth, solitude. The state of being alone but productive and happy.
Okay, Alex, we've covered the problem, the trap, and the cost. But how do we actually do this? How do I start my season of no tomorrow without being a total jerk?
That is exactly what we will cover in the final part. The practical steps to take action. Don't miss the conclusion. Welcome to the final part. We have talked about the theory. Now, let's talk tactics. Sarah, you asked earlier, how do I say no without being a jerk?
Yes, I can't just text my friends and say, "Go away, I am becoming successful." That sounds terrible.
Please don't say that. Here is a practical strategy. Be honest but brief. Use the monk mode explanation.
Monk mode? Like a religious thing?
It's a metaphor for deep focus. You can say, hey, I would love to come, but I'm in a lockdown period right now to finish this big project. I'm not doing any social events for the next 3 months. Let's catch up after that.
Oh, I like that. It makes it about your schedule, not about them. It's less personal.
Exactly. And you have to treat your work time as non-negotiable. If you had a meeting with the president, would you cancel it for a beer? No. Treat your own dreams with the same respect.
Non-negotiable. That means it cannot be changed or discussed. Treat your English study time like a meeting with the president. Got it.
Because at the end of the day, as Hormozy says, the work needs doing. The woman in the red dress will always be there, but your time will not.
All right, Alex, we have covered so much today. Before we sign off, can we do a rapid-fire summary of the whole episode? For the listeners who might have zoned out?
Sure. Point number 1, beware of the woman in the red dress. Distractions look beautiful, not scary. Say no to good opportunities so you can say yes to great ones.
Point number 2, embrace the season of no. It is a temporary period where you aggressively eliminate everything that dilutes your focus.
Point number 3, accept the social cost. You might lose friends. You might feel lonely. But remember the difference between loneliness, sadness, and solitude, power.
And finally, let's do the vocabulary master list. I'm going to quiz you, Alex. I'll say the definition, you say the word we learned today. Ready?
I was born ready.
Definition 1. A figure of speech comparing two things effectively.
That is a metaphor.
Correct. Next, making something weaker by adding too much to it.
That is dilution. Don't dilute your focus.
Nice. Next one. Being just average, not terrible but not great.
Mediocre. The enemy of excellence.
Last one. The resistance or conflict that happens when you change your lifestyle.
That is friction.
Perfect score! Listeners, how many did you get right? Let us know in the comments below.
And also, tell us, what is your woman in the red dress? What is the one distraction you need to say no to this week? We want to hear your commitment.
Don't forget to like this video if you learned something new. And subscribe to PodQuiver for more deep dives into business and English.
I'm Alex.
And I'm Sarah. Keep learning and stay focused.
Bye.
Bye.